And the reason why we're doing this right now, folks, is because we want to add in these extra harmonics, actually give this pluck some f***ing What's going on, guys? Shane here from Rocket Powered Sound. Right now, I'm going to be revealing the Serum pluck hacks that you need to know. Okay, you do this stuff in Serum and you make beautiful plucks. This is what they sound like. Alrighty guys, so jumping right in here, as you can see, I am wearing glasses, okay? In fact, I don't feel like wearing my contact lenses, but I still gotta see, you know what I mean? Anyway guys, so jumping right in here, the thing I love about plucks is that, you can either rock them like we are right now, where we got the melody on top and we got the chord sequence right in there as well. Or we can turn it into an arpeggiated sequence just like that. Yeah, so there's so much we could do with plucks. Without further ado, let's jump right in. Now, a huge part about making plucks is literally the melody itself. A pluck, I don't care what kind of pluck you have. If you have a shit melody, it just won't sound good. Okay, so that's why sound design is only like 50% of it. But that's what we're focusing on today. For the melody part, I'm grabbing this melody from our upcoming PAC Legends songwriting suite. Okay, this thing's dropping March 24th. Of 2020, okay? Or maybe if you're watching this in the future, past March 24th, it's available right now. So regardless, you can hop on the early access list, or you can grab it now by clicking the link in the description down below. Okay, that's gonna take you to the page so you can get early access for that. But yeah, this thing's basically designed so that way you'll never hit writer's block again. Whenever you need some kind of inspiration or anything, you could just drag in one of the melodies because they're all proven. They're made by an actual professional pianist and they're organic sounding. So you could just drag them in and then move around the notes and everything. You get inspiration just like that. Enough inspiration to literally last you your entire career, okay? Like there's over 5,000 MIDI melodies and everything and a whole songwriting masterclass in this thing. Go ahead and click the link in the description down below, learn more about that. But regardless, basically all I did was I just grabbed this. Oops, let's turn off the art. Right, and then all I did was I just moved it up. Yeah, I just moved it up to a higher key. And now let's get into the actual fun part, the sound design. All right guys, so jumping right in here, right now you're gonna be getting a bunch of amazing tips you can get for actually making plucks on your own, okay? Like you're gonna be getting a bunch of cool little pluck formula secrets that I've created over the years of sound design. So let's jump right in. And by the way, you probably noticed too that the sound was layered with some other stuff. I'll get into that later in the video. Stick around to the end of the video because you're literally gonna be learning so much stuff. It's ridiculous, okay? So anyway, we start off with the sine wave, which is found in our basic shapes. And the reason why we're starting off with the sine wave is because we kind of want it to sound like a pipe, okay? And we think about like a pipe, like, right? Like a pipe that we're playing. It sounds like it's smooth, right? We got some air flowing. So air is like noise, right? It's like noise. So we're just gonna turn on a little bit of noise, by the way. Boom, and we're done. Just kidding. Moving on here, let's go into Oscillator Beep. And right now we're gonna be turning on basic shapes yet again. We need yet another smooth waveform, which we're gonna go with a square. It's not as soft, but it's definitely smooth. It's not like a grainy sawtooth where like, right? So anyway, what we're gonna be doing here when we get kind of fancy is we just turn on the sync and we just turn it up to 2.2. I have it to 2.20. I'm gonna try to get 2.22 because that's exactly what I had it before. There we go. And here's the fun part. We turn this up 4. We want 4 voices playing. Why? Because guys, we don't want this to sound digital. And that's a huge part. So many producers complain about their music sounding digital. It sounds like it's literally created on a computer, which we don't want that. We want it to sound more human. And this is an amazing way. You just turn on the amount of voices up. Okay? And of course, that's not exactly what we're going for, but we're going to be turning on some effects and everything to turn down the intensity of all these voices playing at the same time. Okay, so moving forward here, we go into the filter. Oh, and by the way, that's why we also had a real pianist record all these live, all the MIDI regions in Legends, because that way, you escape the whole thing of your music sounding digital. All the velocity is custom. Everything's custom just like that. It's not like we just individually dragged MIDI regions around and threw together the pack. It's not like that. This is the real deal. So now moving on here, what we're going to do is we're going to go into our flanges. And what I found is the filter that works best for this particular sound is actually the comb filter HL6 positive. Okay. And what we're going to want to do to actually get some sound out of this is turn up the resonance. And also turn on for Oscillator Beep. By the way, we want to turn up the filter variation. Yeah, huge difference. And the reason why we're doing this right now, folks, is because we want to add in these extra harmonics, actually give this pluck some fucking flavor, you know what I mean? So you hear it and it doesn't just sound like, you know, two waveforms. We want it to actually have like an extra tone to it that sounds unique. And this is what a lot of little hack that a lot of producers are using. They're throwing on a filter from the flanges and then putting on key tracking, so that way whatever note that we press, the filter cutoff will move with it, because we are going to be, since we turn up the resonance all the way and everything, whatever note that we press, it's really going to be, I should say, where the cutoff is right now, it sounds like it has its own particular tone. And we want that tone to move with whatever note that we press on the keyboard. So for that reason, we turn on keyboard tracking. And now what I do is, here's a little bit of an annoying part, is we just kind of move it around until we find the perfect tone that aligns with the sound we're going for. And keep in mind, we could always go back and adjust this later. Oop, let's turn this down. Okay, so this is really loud. So we have it right now at 121 hertz. And that sounds okay. We might go back and change it a little bit if we want a little bit different of a variation of the sound. And now that brings us right into the effects, okay? Now a huge major key, by the way, I almost forgot, a huge major key for plucks is we actually got to shape the pluck, right? Because right now it's just like we're banging on a chord, right? It's like bam, 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 right? And we actually want to make it a pluck. So a huge thing that makes a pluck is a pluck, and that's the shape of a pluck. So we're really just going to dive right here into envelope 1, which is the master volume envelope. Okay, and we could just turn up the release a little bit, so that way the tail extends. The note extends off a little bit after we press a note. Let's turn up the attack a little bit, so that way it's like more like it's being plucked, or like, remember I said like a pipe effect? Right? There's a little bit of attack, right? Before that happens. Okay, and additionally with that, we can turn on the decay. So it's a little bit shorter of a time, or a little bit shorter time span for this to actually go through. And that's fine, that's fine. So we can go ahead and turn on our filter now. All right, we'll leave it on this, this low pass filter, and we'll just turn on the cutoff. And now we can't hear anything, obviously, because we're cutting out the high-end frequencies so much. So we just turn on the envelope 1. This is the master, volume envelope, and it's just going to be controlling the whole sound. Right? We just put it down to the cutoff. So nothing too crazy, again. But now we can turn on the hyper, and this is where we start making it sound a little bit more organic, giving it some more space. Because you heard the pluck, it sounds like there's so much space in it. So we'd go ahead and turn on the mix a little bit for the hyper, and then go low size and high mix for the dimension. That way, we get a lot of space in the sound without like compromising the actual structural integrity of the sound. Okay, because if we turn up the size all the way, it just like kind of starts to sound gross. There's a little bit of a delay. So anyway, now this is when we really start making the sound pop. We go into down sampler on the distortion, okay? We turn on the distortion and we turn on that drive. Like 13 is fine. But more than that, we're going to turn on the filter now, okay? And we turn up the filter between the band pass and the high pass. So it's at around 86%, I believe. Or maybe we'll jump that up to even like 88%, okay? And we actually just want to shape this, okay? So we're cutting out the low end. and you guys can hardly hear the sound. And this is why we want to turn up the volume, because we're filtering all these effects and everything, and it dramatically decreases the actual sound's volume. Maybe turn this down to 12. And now we turn on our multiband compressor. Turn up the gain. And something I'm going to do is we want this to hit a little bit less hard. We'll turn down the ratio to like 1 to 8 to 1. Turn on that mix. All right, now we're talking, baby. So these last two effects really make the atmosphere of the sound. And it's first we start off with the delay. Okay, we don't really do anything too crazy on the delay, except for we cut down the high end of the low end just a tad bit by adjusting this down. That way, you know, the frequencies don't interfere so much. And then as well as we just turn this on ping pong. And the difference is ping pong will start alternating whenever we press a note. It'll alternate between left and right headphones, okay? Let's turn on the feedback a little bit. Now we just do reverb. Okay, so this sounds okay, but it's not exactly the original sound. So the thing that we can do to like start getting closer to that, or at least switching up the variation to something we like, is literally by changing the cutoff ever so slightly. And a nice little trick we can do to do that is put on a macro. That way we don't make any lasting changes that don't sound so good, but we could get a little bit more specific. Like, see, we set this to 4. So we're moving we have all this knob to move over a very small period, okay? It's like we pull on a magnifying glass almost by using this macro, and we could get really fine and tune it to exactly how we want it. So guys, all I did here is I just put on this macro, and it's literally 0, but it's not modulating 0. There is a slight percentage. As you can hear, there is something, but that's how specific we have to go to find the right tune in this. Okay, now I did mention there are 2 other layers. So by the way, guys, just go ahead and mess around with the cutoff and just kind of finding whatever one is exact to you, whatever one that you prefer. And more than that, the preset is available, by the way, in the description down below if you would like this exact sound that I started with. Now, into the actual background elements, all we did is we just put in these, let's see. We just have like a metallic reese, like a muted reese in the background that sounds like this. Okay, and then we just have just this nice little in the, you know, just riding in the background, and then these chord stabs just to kind of go and add in a little bit more movement. And by the way, all these presets, these are included in our Feel Good for Serum pack, which, keep this a secret, is actually going to be included as a bonus pack for the first like 500 people that grab their copy of Legends. Like, this is going to be a huge launch, but these presets are going to be included. Okay, so you guys are definitely going to be looking forward to this. Real quick, I forgot to put this in the video. I know I'm not even wearing the hat right now. But basically all I did was I took these main chords and I just put them into stabs like this. That just went bum, bum, bum. Okay, and then additionally, all I did was I took the root note of every single one of these chords and I made that for the notes for the reese. Okay, that's it. Anyway, guys, let me know how you like this sound and you like the tutorial. If you guys like this stuff, go ahead and let me know if you want more of this kind of stuff with plucks and whatnot, and just continue telling me exactly what you're looking for, and I will provide. All right, guys, so this is Shane from Rocket Powered Sound. Hope you enjoyed today's video. Connect with me on Instagram, whatever, and I'll see you very, very soon. Peace out.